Alright, so today we're going to look at upgrading the backband in your Jackson Kayak. I've been paddling these since one of the early 05 funds that came out, and I'm sort of a wider built guy, so they tend to dig into my sides, and this is a $2 10-minute solution to that problem that I finally figured out, and I figured I'd share it with you guys. So hopefully you like it, enjoy, real easy thing to do in the parking lot before your next lap.
All right, so let's get started. If you look in the foreground, I did the right side one first so you can see where we're headed. What we're doing here is we're taking everything apart, and where the ropes are doubled over and exposed right above the hip pad, we are going to encase them in a section of tubular webbing. So what this does is it scrunches up when the backband pulls front and back, and it acts as a softer barrier and a sort of a roller between you and your hip or love handle if you're like me. So what I'm doing right here is pulling the knot out of the rope, trying to straighten the end as best I can, knock the backband all the way to the back. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of tubular webbing. So as you can see, it's hollow in the middle. It's not like normal webbing where it's one layer. It's completely spun into a tube. So we're going to take advantage of that hollow space, and by cutting it a little bit longer than the longer section of rope, which goes front to back, we're going to have more than we need, so it's always kind of scrunched up and floating around above the hip pad. But it's not short enough that it can leave itself exposed. So once we've cut the right length, we're going to take a lighter and holding the mouth of the webbing open as wide as we can, we're going to burn the end, which does two things. It's A, not going to fray, and B, it's going to help hold the webbing open while we're trying to fish rope down it and make our lives a little easier. So this video is going to be a little long at times, but I'm leaving everything in real time and not speeding it up or chopping it down, so you get a sense of exactly how long it's going to take. I think it's right around 5 minutes per side. So boom, second side's done. What I'm doing now is pushing on the fold in the webbing to try and make it as tubular as possible, and I'm going to keep doing that as I'm feeding the rope through it. So we're all set now, yanking that rope out, checking on the other side, and we're going to start feeding the rope in once we get the end as straight as we can. So again, pushing that way makes it as easy as possible to push this rope in. And there's basically two techniques. Once you get enough in and you get the webbing as, providing as little friction as possible, you might be able to shove a length of it in at a time and kind of scoot it through. Or if you can't, just cram as much as you can into the end, pinch the rope against one corner of the webbing, and then with your other hand, straighten the rope out against that corner. And by doing this 3 or 4 times, you should slowly be able to work the rope all the way down. So one half of it's done. Now we're going to feed the rope through the link on the backband and do it all over again. So same thing, we're just going to shove the rope against the opposite fold now so that there are no twists and the rope isn't rubbing against itself inside of the webbing. It's just passing by, like 2 lanes of traffic in a tunnel. All right, so now one of the more difficult parts of this is putting Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? So in a moment here, I'll have the rope all sorted out in our new piece of webbing, and the difficult part begins. Again, I did this once before, so I've kind of got the trick down to it, but follow along. So first of all, it's important to make sure the rope goes into the right way relative to the hip pad. So, whoops, wrong way. There's the right way, okay? Now you can see that first crease in the cockpit rim before the cleat. You're going to shove up into the dead space and then forward and fish it right around and pull it straight out. Now we're taking advantage of where we pulled that pad down to give us a little bit of space to work, to shoot the rope straight through the back of the cleat and then forward again through the way it was before. Tie a quick figure 8 knot, scoot it to the end of the rope, and we're done. That's it. Like I said, pretty easy peasy, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. So now, just so you can see what we're doing, when I scooch forward, that webbing all bunches up, and when it slams back, it stays out of the way. It's going to be jammed between that D-link and that closer section that goes in front of the hip pad.